Question 9, okay. In the diagram, AB is 5, AC is 3, BD is 8, CD is 4, BAC is 120. It says find BC. When you're answering these questions, you need to look at where BC is. Okay, BC is present in two different triangles. It's present in the top triangle and the bottom triangle. However, the top triangle has more information. Because the top triangle has more information, we're going to use that one to find BC. Now, I was asked, how do you know whether to use the sine rule, which is listed to the left, or the cosine rule, which is, sorry, that's just sine B, that's sine capital A, and the cosine rule, which is listed below that again. So, what I'm making a suggestion for you guys is in your leaving cert and in your exam, what you do is you try the sine rule first. Okay? So, if we're using the sine rule, we're going to call BCX, aren't we? Because that's what we need to use. So we're going to have x over sine 120. Now pick another side you know the length of. We don't know the angle opposite the 3, and we don't know the angle opposite the 5. So it'd be 3 over, I don't know, call that I don't know, Z. B over sine Z. Now what's the problem with this, Paddy?
It's two letters.
Two letters. So in a scenario like this, sine rule isn't going to get you anywhere. So that's the best way to learn though. Try the sine rule first. If you get two letters, go to the cosine rule. Now, when going to the cosine rule, you're looking for x. So which letter do we replace x for?
A squared.
A squared turns into x squared, and automatically big A turns into 120. Next thing, what's B and C?
5 and 3.
5 and 3, so 5 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 5 times 3, it's cos 120. So guys, this is a what type of question? Is it an angle question or a length question? Angle question is when you don't know what this angle here is. And in this question we know that A is 120, therefore it cannot be an angle question, okay? So if we're looking for the letter over this side of the equation, A squared is a length, X squared we can see is a length, so this is a length question. For length questions, you just put into the calculator. Yes, Dennis? No? You're good? Yeah. Okay, so guys, put all that in the calculator and what do we get? Anybody got it? X squared equals 49, is it?
Yeah. And then A. Yeah.
Okay, x equals 49, x therefore equals 7. How many people got that last night? Okay, good man. Now, find the measure of the angle BDC. Lads, which angle is BDC?
Where D is.
Where D is, okay, so let's call it angle D. Now, yeah.
Don't you have to put 7 for the x now?
Yep.
So you can continue with that.
Yep, doing that now. Okay, BDC belongs to the bottom triangle. The bottom triangle, while it looks right angled, you cannot treat it as a right angled. It has to say it's 90 degrees. Okay? It doesn't say it's 90 degrees. We got to run with the sine rule or cosine rule. Once again, we might try the sine rule out. So we're going to have 7 over sine D and equals. Now what about the other two angles? If I call this angle, I don't know, M, and this angle N, 4 divided by sine N. What's the problem there? 2 letters. And if you try it the other way, it'll be 8 over sine N. Either way, you're always going to get 2 letters. That means this just means you just can't do it this way, and therefore you go to plan B. Plan B being your cosine rule. So you look up here again and go, okay, cosine rule. So I'm going to I want to find out what D is, don't I? So we're going to let D be this one here. And if D is big A, what has to be small a?
7.
7 has to be small a. Because the D is looking at that side. Okay? So what's our equation going to be? 7 squared equals
4 squared
4 squared
plus 8 squared.
plus 8 squared minus 2 times 4 times 8 because D. Is this an angle question or a length question? Angle. And what is the very last thing you're going to do in this question?
Minus 2 for cos.
You're going to cos inverse. Is the very last thing you're going to do. And what else you have to do in this question? There's something special you have to do in this one. You got to isolate this, and it's almost like in a shield. It's staying on its own to the very end. Okay. So what happens next is that's 49. That's 16 and 64. Add them together gives you 80. Bring the 80 over to your side, so you're going to have 49 minus 80. And then we're going to do this part here. Minus 2 times 4 times 8. Minus 64 cos D. Okay? Now what is 49 minus 80?
31.
Minus 31 equals minus 64 cos D. Want to get that cos D on its own, so what's preventing that?
Minus 64.
It's multiplied by minus 64 on the right hand side of the equals. It comes divided by minus 64 on the left hand side. And then what you just need to do is you need to cos inverse 31 minus 31 over 64.
61.
Okay, so I have it here. Yeah. So cos inverse minus 31 over minus 64, and what do we get?
61 times 32.
Nearest degree? 61 degrees. Okay, that's